Hey, this is Shay M. Lawson, Esquire, and in a minute of your time, I am helping creative entrepreneurs legally protect their passion and profits. Today, I am talking about the trademark process. If you have ever thought about getting a trademark, you are probably like, why the hell does this cost so much? And so I just want to talk a bit about the nuances of what you're getting when you pay a lawyer to file your trademark and what you'll get when you utilize like a Rocket Lawyer or a LegalZoom or something like that, because I understand budgets are very, very real. So let's go ahead and dive in. When you are filing a trademark, before you even file the trademark, you need to do a search to see if your actual mark is available. This is something that you can absolutely do yourself. You can go to uspto.gov, again, uspto.gov, click on trademarks, click search trademarks, click basic word search, and you will be able to click to see if your desired phrase is available. However, if you utilize a lawyer for the services, there are going to be different, more complex searches that they will do to see if the particular mark is available. And there will also be different ways that they know whether or not a particular mark may be similar to something else. And so they may do specific kinds of searches to see certain similarities that you as a regular person might not be able to do when you are doing the basic word search. And this is often something that is included in your Rocket Lawyer and your LegalZoom cost of fee. So now that you've done your search and you've determined that you can move forward with your application, the actual application itself is a little nuanced. And so there are a number of classes that you can file your trademark in. And the class is basically defining what is the type of good or service that your trademark is covering. And there are a lot of nuances to whether or not something should be consulting versus education or something like that. And so you just want to understand where your mark falls and what you're doing. You want to make sure that the specimen that you put with your application is sufficient to show its use in commerce. And so those are going to be things, again, that maybe a Rocket Lawyer or a LegalZoom attorney is not going to tell you. Those are things that you as an individual attempting to do it on your own won't be able to do. But again, if you hire an individual trademark attorney to file your application, those are things that they'll be able to help you through to make sure that at least you have the bare minimums of your application done correctly. The fee, no matter whether you use, me or Rocket Lawyer or LegalZoom or you do it yourself, the fee that you pay to the U.S. government is going to be $275 to do it online. And that is per class. And so that's per type of use. And the catch is that, again, you want to make sure that your application is done correctly, because if your application is denied or has to be refiled, you do not get your $275 back. You need to pay a fee again in order to either correct it or refile. And so again, you want to save yourself a little bit of heartache and headache by making sure that it's done correctly the first time. And then now you have your application filed and it's there. Well, a lot of times with Rocket Lawyer and LegalZoom, that's literally where their services end. They do a preliminary search, they file your application, and they are no longer involved in the trademark process. However, this is really where things are just getting started. Once your application is assigned to an examiner, it's going to go through a question and answer period often. And so these are what are called office actions, in which the examiners issue refusals. And the refusals are just issues they may have where they might not quite understand the good or service that you're offering. They may think that it does need to be in a different class. You may have maybe errors, or there may be a different in the trademark that you want, but the punctuation or the style that you're using in your actual marketing or with your consumers. There could be a number of issues that they offer these refusals for. And so depending on the type of refusal that's issued in the office action is going to determine how complex a legal brief needs to be written in response in order to move your application forward. So again, if you've chosen to DIY this is now putting you in the position of a lawyer to attempt to write a legal brief and learn trademark law and write this yourself. But again, if you use a lawyer on the front end, you want to make sure that when you are paying them a flat fee, that you ask them whether or not they will see this through the entire process. And so in legal speak, that's called seeing it through a successful prosecution, a trademark prosecution. And this process, with the refusals and the office actions, could take quite a while. I've had marks that this period took up to 2 years to go through. And so this is a really lengthy period of time. And just like I said, could involve some complex legal briefs. Once you get through the examination period, you now move into what's called publication. And so publication is where individuals are able to oppose your mark and say, hey, I think that this is too close to my mark. And so this is where you get a Blue Ivy Carter versus Blue Ivy, the jewelry company, right? And she's been fighting them in a trial to stop the Carters from registering their child's name as a trademark. They have denied that Blue Ivy, the child, has distinctiveness in the market such that she has a right to the trademark over the jewelry company that existed prior to the child's birth, right? And this is going through the legal process as we speak right now. And so once again, should someone come and oppose your mark, you want to make sure that you have an attorney on your side that will see it through. And so that's really when you are looking at the significant costs that you may see when you look up online that's attached to paying an attorney for a trademark. These are all the different nuances of the process. And the catch here is that even with all of this, about 50% of trademarks are still rejected. It's still a gamble, but it's definitely a less risky gamble when you have a professional that may help you navigate some of those bumps and obstacles and get you through. And so that's just a little bit of insight into the trademark process. If you are watching this and you are wondering, how do I protect my creative idea? I thought I needed a copyright, but maybe I need a trademark. Go on over to ShayMLawson.com and click tips and tools, and you'll be able to find the post of how do I protect my creative idea? Do I need a trademark or copyright? And it takes you step by step. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Share this with a friend who's trying to be cheap. You can always do it the free way, but you can also do it the headache-free way. And a lot of times the headache-free way is going to cost you a little bit of money and investment, but it's definitely going to be well worth it. So this is my time today. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure you're following me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time.